This video, we're going to be breaking down John Beast versus Fancy. This is for the Madden Bowl. This is the MCS Madden 25, MCS Playoff Final, Madden Bowl, Super Bowl, whatever you call it. The biggest game of Madden 25. It's in London, which is weird. It's like cool weird. I don't know why they're playing in London, but they're playing in London. And kind of a cool little arena here. And kind of a lot to talk about here, but this is Fancy, and Fancy coming into this game is the number one player in the world. He's been the best player by far in Madden 25. He's really, I think, kind of the player that has shown that there is a significant amount of skill gap in Madden 25, and that skill gap primarily is switch stick. Fancy is got the best switch stick in Madden 25, the best switch stick in the community, and that's pretty much why he's been able to be super successful. It's primarily because of his defense. Now, that being said, I did want to break down kind of his team here and just take a look, as this is kind of the in-game team and what you see here. So a couple things. First and foremost that I want to point out is this ability right here, Pass Protector, is pretty key at this point in the year. The combination of Pass Protector and the all-day ability is really helpful for countering a lot of the sheds. So that's the main ability you need to kind of have at least. I'm surprised at how few Pass Protectors he actually had in here. I personally suggest having more than he does. But anyways, as you see here, his entire offensive line is 0 AP, except I bet both tackles have 1 AP Pass Protector. I personally have it on everybody, just because it reduces the instant sheds. Anyways, that being said, he has Saquon Barkley. He has 11 AP on his quarterback. Drake May, he has basically everything on him. He has Master Attack, Gunslinger, Pass Lead Elite, Conductor, literally everything. I guess he doesn't have Conductor because he's Master Attack, but everything you could want. And then on his receivers, all of them are 0 AP. So pretty much the majority of his AP is going to be on his quarterback. He does have this big William Perry card for the goal line, and that's going to be pretty much his squad. Now, what it appears to me, just based on the roster construction here, is he's rocking 40 Eagles, probably. And so the 40 Eagles theme team is probably the best theme team right now. Theme team is not really as big of a deal as it's been in previous years because of how good the combine cards are, because they're able to get so many different team chemistries. But anywho, that being said, that is a look at the lineup. And then I want to talk a little bit about the scheme that we're going to see from Fancy in this game. So right out of the gate, 1st and 10, ball on the right hash. And again, Fancy's got the ball on offense. John Beast's going to be in the Patriots uniforms. Fancy's going to be in the Cowboys uniforms. And the biggest thing here starting off is this is going to be a very similar matchup, but the main difference is Fancy is going to be in the Eagles offensive playbook and John Beast is going to be in the 49ers offensive playbook. Both of these guys are rocking dollar on defense. If you guys want to learn these schemes, they're in my school community. I have a breakdown on Niners, I have a breakdown on Eagles, and I have a full dollar defensive ebook that I actually just completely revamped recently. So if you're not a member of our school community, it's only $10, and it literally gets you access to every piece of knowledge that you could possibly need to take your Madden game to the next level. So if you're looking to improve, you can sign up for that. The link is going to be in the description below. But the main concept here that we're going to get from John defensively is we're going to get 1 of 2 blitzes. This guy right here is pretty much going to be the blitzer majority of the time, and he's either going to crossfire blitz, or you're going to see his user walk down. He's going to hit this guard, and this guy is going to engage. When he does this engage, he can drop this guy out. One of the big keys to the game, in my opinion, and this is kind of the big key in Madden 25 as a whole, is the main coverage shell that you're going to see is some type of cover 4 shaded down with a user in the middle of the field and potentially another hook. Not always another hook. Occasionally, another thing that you'll get out of this look is you'll get, like, let's say this guy on a hook and then the user on the other hook, right? Or vice versa. They'll put this guy on the hook and the user will be on this hook. The reason they're doing that is to try to defend the middle of the field a little bit better. The point of this, me breaking down this coverage though, is because what you're going to see Fancy do offensively is, and this is what I think Clef really did to Fancy. The only person in Madden 25 that really just kind of popped Fancy, at least in the MCS from what I saw, was Clef in the Zero Chill event, which is very similar to this, just in terms of how the players are going to be playing with 99 speed and a lot of abilities and everything like that. And the way that Clef really attacked kind of this crossfire cover four base defense was essentially trying to throw the ball in this area of the field. Really, this kind of I mean, basically this little box right here, this rectangle was really the primary position in which you're going to see them attack. So, what are the route combos that attack? And this is why I think Eagles is actually a better playbook than 49ers. I like both offenses. Both offenses obviously can be ran at a very high level. I believe that this game is for $250,000, and I believe Fancy's already made, like, I want to say, I don't know how much he's totally made in the Madden Bowl aspect of this, but he's already won two finals this year. So a lot of people are considering this, if he wins this game, to potentially be the best year anyone's ever had. The reason I'm kind of saying all that is just to point out, like, this is the highest possible level of the game can be played at. And what you're going to see in Eagles is you're going to see this little return route right here. You're going to see what makes this offense really good is a short post, a streak, and then you can get a flat and a little running back streak. So what this route combo does, and this is something that we break down, is number one, you can throw the ball in this area, you can throw the ball in this area, and then you can throw the ball in this area. Then you have clear outs as well on both sides. So anyways, that is kind of the chess match that John is going to have to adjust to throughout the game, and that's kind of how Fancy's offense is going to play. All right, let's take a look at the first play here, and we are going to see, first and foremost, just want to go over the route combo so that you can kind of see everything, and this is going to kind of lay the blueprint for everything. So as you look here at the defense, as you see, John Beast is going to send 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's that crossfire cover 4 concept. What typically happens is they're going to switch stick onto one of these safeties and try to lurk a deep post or a short post over the middle of the field. The reason this matters is because this hard flat right here, you've got this little return route in this window, and then you've got the running back about to break free in this window, and you've got this guy. So what this does practically is, because if you think about it, this ball is going to be thrown kind of right here. This ball is going to be thrown about right here. And then this ball, if you think about it, it's going to be thrown right here. So what that does is it creates kind of a triangular passing concept that is super difficult to defend. So as you see, there it is. There's that return route. There's that running back route, which John Beast, as you see, he's switch sticked here. He's midpointing these two routes, but he still can't use or both of them. And then notice John Beast actually makes a crazy, crazy interesting play. And Fancy has a touchdown on the first play. The reason switch stick is so good and it's so important to learn how to properly switch stick in this game is because it limits big plays if done properly. And also it's happening so fast. If you actually watch this play kind of play out from beginning to end here, you're going to see, just the quickness of things. And you see there's that touchdown, but notice Fancy takes the check down underneath and he's going to check down to that little return route. Another thing that you're going to see from both of these guys on the offensive side of the ball is they're both going to be playing on conservative. In this year's game, there's a lot of fumbles, and so you're going to see them play on conservative. Another little tip a little thing that John is doing that a lot of people don't realize is he comes out in double safety go and he audibles into whatever the coverage is that he wants to call. It's a pretty commonplace thing that's been being done all year. But one of the patches in this game basically caused it. These safeties would normally be like down here. And if you have a safety down inside of about 8 yards, really 8 yards or less, if you put them on a middle third, if you put them on a deep half, if you put them on really anything except for a quarter, they are going to basically get burned over the top. They're going to backpedal really, really slowly. And so you notice here that John Beast, he's still coming out in double safety go, but what he does is he kind of audibles and then he clicks onto these guys and freezes them so that they're at 10 yards ish off the ball. It's a super underrated little thing that he's going to do. And there you actually get a look here. And this is like super, I wish they would show the defense side of the ball more because I just feel like it'd be cool to see it. Take a look at the shell from John. It's like one of the only shells you're going to be able to see throughout this game of actually like the play art. But anyway, this is the basic blitz concept. This is out of the, I believe that this is actually, he's using the strong safety version of the crossfire blitz. But the reason that this matters is because what he's able to do here is he's going to deep half this guy and he's going to hook curl this guy. So what that does is it steals him a player underneath in coverage, and this player is going to kind of move to the middle of the field slowly, so he's going to kind of go into that seam area of the field. Another thing that Fancy's going to do is he's going to flip around. One of the things I always look at is how much wide side tight end versus how much wide side slot receiver. Kind of an interesting thing to watch here. Looks like John checks into the cover 4 now, and we're going to see, a send 3 with the back off. And you got, look at this here. You got hard flat. There's that little man up on that back side here. And essentially Fancy's running streak, corner, flat, and then it looks like a streak and a backside drag underneath. So essentially at this point, Fancy already kind of knows the coverage and he knows what's going to be open. He really knows that this is probably not going to get open over the middle of the field. And then he knows that this could potentially be an option, or this backside drag if he comes open late. More than likely, John is going to use the drag. As you see, he actually switch sticks here, which is kind of a crazy switch. I don't feel like he really needed to do that. And Fancy's going to scramble out and get a couple of yards. So again, early within this game, you're already kind of seeing kind of the keys to the game in terms of being able to execute against the meta. Another thing that Fancy does a really good job of within his play calling is he's going to run a lot of jet touch pass. And then what's really interesting is he's kind of setting this up. He actually did a tip video on the MCS Twitter or X page. And on that page, he did a tip video that basically explained that what he's doing with that jet touch pass, that's kind of essentially just like a constraint play. He's calling that. And then essentially what's going to happen is late in the game, he'll go to like a fake at the right time. And that's a lot about trying to set up kind of the, if he can get you to commit to the jet touch pass, then the fake jet touch pass with the pass option over the top is a potential way to get you out of position defensively. So it's just little things. Again, another thing that Fancy's doing a lot is he's doing a lot of switching or a lot of flipping of his formation. There's that same play, cheat wheel post. This is one of my favorite routes and the combos in the game for this cover 4 based defense because it creates that middle of the field triangle. That middle of the field triangle is really a concept that Fancy's been using for years. Maybe not that exact play, but that kind of concept of creating a triangular read within the middle of the field to attack pretty much every, heavy cover 4 based defense. That was a really good switch stick by John. And another thing you're noticing within this game, because it's such send 3 and send 4 dependent, you're getting a lot of quarterback scrambles, stepping up into the pocket, really important this year, trying to get those scrambles. And again, here we see it again. He's going to flip. Pretty much every time he's flipped that I know of, he's gone to this play so far. So we go back to it again. That time we got a crazy shed from John. And that is Williams. I believe that's Mikael Williams, the combine card. Super good player. Always take note of kind of what they're doing with their team as well. That's obviously a big deal. Again, here you're going to see YSL. See, this play right here has really not... this is actually crazy pressure, and he threw that for real. That is insane. Okay, so situationally here, 3rd down and 12. Fancy kind of does something really interesting here. So he goes to Y sail, which the whole point of this play is you're really looking for the seam streak, which is rarely open anymore against a good player. But what you can get is, let's say this is an inside quarter. That inside quarter is going to kind of lurk to here. And you can actually pass lead this up into this little spot if this guy is on a cloud. So what commonly is going to happen is you're either going to pass lead this, or John is going to switch stick. Let's say he switch sticked over here to this guy. Then that would open up kind of this backside in route. What we see in John's defense here, and it's like super little, part of this has to do with the fact that he's getting screamed at, honestly. And notice it's a lot of send 3 from John. But anyways, the biggest thing here is you're going to take a look at this. If we just kind of freeze it, look at this, a quarter. You can actually throw this right here under pressure, possession catch. Obviously, he's in the flow of a game. He's getting blitzed. So what Fancy's doing here is he's going to spin out of the pocket, let this guy kind of pick this guy up, and then he's going to look for his in route. So a couple of things here, honestly. Situationally 3rd and 12, so he's kind of, this is kind of like, I need to get my first down, or I'm going to take 3 more than likely, because this is a tough area of the field to score. But one of the things that I just think, at the end of the day, he missed this. And then also, like, one of your first reads on the play is going to be this flat. In this game, you could break so many tackles. Like, I feel like that could be a potential read, but Fancy's going to spin out here. And then he's also, so you see there's a spin out. And now right here, this is what I don't, like, this right here, this is a great switch stick from John because John knows the play. He's going to roll back with this hook zone and basically get depth, and he'll probably pick this off. Again, this guy's wide open. You can't really throw it at that point. It's too late. But to me, uh, I don't love. I mean, I guess I kind of know what I mean. Eh, that's risky throw ends up getting KO'd, and that's going to be it for the first drive. So it's actually really fortunate from Fancy that he's able to get 3 on that. In my opinion, I think that read was not his best. I understand that it's hard to truly get back on that. That's a really hard switch stick ultimately be able to make because the momentum of the player, you're having to turn him around and run him back. But anyway, obviously super important. Let's learn from John in terms of his team. He is rocking Jaden Daniels at the quarterback position with 9 AP on his quarterback. Now, what's really interesting is a slight difference. You got Kyle Long at center here for John, probably for that pass protector ability. You have Tyron Smith on the outside with, it looks like, edge protector. So not sure exactly what he's doing ability wise, but in general, he's also rocking Kyle Pitts. I believe this is for defense because he gets mid zone. But anyway, still getting the all day. That's kind of the main offensive line ability. And then he's going to be using Christian Watson, Deion Sanders, and Randy Moss as far as I still think John is rocking 40 Eagles, might be rocking 20 Cowboys. I love that team personally. He's got Saquon here with goal line back. Really not, still got Perry in there. Not a whole lot different. But the biggest thing is Jaden Daniels is going to have set feet lead. I don't believe Jaden Daniels is going to have pass lead on him. And Jaden Daniels has backyard quarterback and not master tack. And then this is, I believe, Fancy's defense. It's got the Devin McCourty Super Bowl card. And then, Kenny Houston. Really don't see that. That's kind of interesting. Pat Pete, Cooper DeJean, Malcolm Jenkins. That dude is really good. But anyway, all right. So we'll go ahead and get into this. So again, John is in the 49ers playbook. Fancy's, and really why you watch Fancy to me is for his defense. It's just, he's so good defensively. Like, look at that switch. And it's just like, the thing is, when Fancy switch sticks, it's like just perfect. I mean, it's literally, he runs the route for you. Like, that's what I think it just makes him, and he'll switch stick. Look at that. Switch stick down, switch stick back, right, early, and gets a big play. And that was not, very easily could have been a dealing pick. Now, again, John is going to be in the 49ers offensive playbook. It looks very similar to Eagles. The major difference is really the position of the receiver that's next to the tight end, and then also this receiver is going to be on the line of scrimmage. So it's honestly spaced out a little bit, in some ways better, some ways worse, but it's spaced out a little differently. Anyway, you're gonna get a lot of PA snag. PA snag is really good because the play action is going to help pick up pressure, and then also you're going to get a lot of this like streak, post, slant, drag. This is basically a meshing combination from John. And you see there, great switch stick. He switched stick super late. John actually had a touchdown there, but that's a super hard to throw to make with set feet lead because you're running out of the pocket. So good switch stick by Fancy, and that brings up a 3rd and 1 in the first drive. This is another really good play from 49ers playbook. This is, I don't know what exactly it's called, but it's got a glitchy fade on the left side. There, John's gonna, and this is what I talk a lot about, man. Like, 3rd and 1, this is not bad defense by any means by Fancy. But what's interesting to me, 3rd and 1, it's kind of an interesting play call. What basically happens, why does John call this play, right? Well, he thinks you might run cover 2 here to the left side. So if you do run cover 2, he's got a chance for a big play over the top here. If you run, so basically you have to run 2 quarters here. He knows this guy's going to go out. And so what that does is it opens up this box that we were talking about earlier. Now, what Fancy ends up doing, and this is the thing I don't love, he doesn't have any hard flats here on the right side. This is what I call a layup throw. This is one of John's probably first reads on the play, it's just free, and it's going to be a free, 5-10 yards, because I talk a lot about it, but defensively, what I want to do is I want to try to take away the layups, and I want to try to take away the deep one play touchdowns, and then I want to try to basically force you to beat me in the middle of the field. This is another thing that John does a lot. This combo is really an interesting one, and I'm just not sure why John loves this combo, but he loves this one. This little table route, little short corner, and then this drag, he's going to playmaker him back. So it's almost like a zig. It's like a deep, deep zig. And what you're going to see here is, notice Fancy switch sticking here to go guard the corner. That's probably why he likes it, because then he playmakers back and he's able to kind of essentially isolate your user that way. What's really cool about the way these guys draw up the route combinations is, even in a game where you can effectively user everybody on the field with switch stick, they're still doing a lot of isolation concepts that force certain coverages. And here you get it right here. Take a look. He goes that exact same play call 2 times in a row. Fancy goes to DB Fire 2 on a second and inches. He does that a lot, where he'll mix in DB Fire situationally. I just don't know if this was the situation to do that. To me, second and inches is kind of a shot play anyway. Maybe, I don't know for sure what the thought process was. But anyway, John goes right back to the same play. And that's exactly what I was talking about with that fade. There you see he catches him in cover 2. And that fade is able to attack. Another thing that Fancy's doing defensively is, when he calls cover 2, he's inside quartering both safeties, and then he's going to be switch sticking onto them, and he just missed the read that time. Love this from the broadcast, by the way. Like, we're not even, this just drives me insane. It's just a little thing, but it's like, we're watching the game. We're watching the game like we're in the actual room. Like this, we got to be back on screen for the snap of the ball. But anyways, if you take a look here at this, you're going to have, this is insane. Yeah, we can't see it. But anyway, you're going to see that Fancy's going to catch an interception. Now I want to break this interception down, because this is probably the play of the game, and I believe that it's super misrepresented what actually happened on this play. As you see, John taps his chest. The reason that John taps his chest is just super important, is because John makes a mistake, and there's really two forms of the mistake within this play. You can say that John kind of did get a bad break, but it's hard still to not put accountability onto John. Take a look. I want to really break this down. So what Fancy does, so the route combination, first and foremost, it's a short side hot route wheel with a running back streak. And then on the back side here, you're going to get this zig, and you're going to get this little post over the middle. So first of all, why would John call this play? The reason for this wheel route here is because, let's say this is a cloud, and let's say this is a quarter. If this is a cloud, typically the cloud will let this kind of get over the top, and you can throw it right here. Let's say, for example, it's cover 4, then this running back streak is going to be open right here. So let's say that it's, I'm trying to think of other coverages. Let's say they switch stick to this quarter to take this away. This opens up the middle of the field. So it's a lot of if this then that rules. Anyway, the point is, I want you to watch this slot corner on the left side. So you see here, you get the shaded inside vertical hook, which, okay, immediately John knows this is dead. His eyes are, in what I would assume are probably over here, but he sees that this is a cover 2. So he knows that this guy has a chance to get over the top. The problem with wheel routes on the short side of the field, because as you see, he actually also playmakers this zig, by the way, and this is wide open. Like, this is literally wide open. You could throw this very easily, potentially score. What happens to his wheel route, though, is really worth explaining. Sometimes on the short side of the field, these wheels, they just like kind of stop on the sideline. From what I understand, it's pretty much only on the short side of the field. I will say it's pretty unfortunate that this happened. But if you're John, like, you've already made this playmaker, and honestly, this is going to get open if he runs his route normal, but he's doing the stutter step. John has to have seen this happen before, and he sees him running slow. The fact that he's running slow means that he's not getting enough separation or space, and essentially Dion is able to make the play. It's the biggest play in the game so far, potentially the biggest play of the entire game, and it really comes down to a couple different things. John could have thrown it away. right? Is it unfortunate? Yeah, more than likely. It doesn't happen the majority of the time, but I've seen that happen before, specifically on the short side of the field. It typically happens to me if I playmaker or do a wheel from that left side receiver. But anyways, it's a big down and big moment. And the one thing that's fortunate for John is he held Fancy to 3 on his first drive, so and he gets ball at half, so he can recover from this mistake okay, but that is a huge like that's why he tapped his chest in my opinion. He knows probably just got to throw that away, right? John was quoted in the MCS playoffs over and over talking about discipline, and right there just didn't make his best play at the tournament. So kind of a big mistake. And again, was it unfortunate that the receiver stopped? Yeah, it was unfortunate the receiver stopped. You got to just be disciplined and throw the ball away there. But is what it is. And we continue to move on. And John's going to fight through it. John's going to fight through it, get back in the game for sure. There's that triangular concept. Notice how much Fancy's going to that play. Literally, probably at least 60% of the play calls have been that. So now what you're going to notice is he mixes in his play calling a lot. But when he goes to the slot fade, he's trying to catch you in cover two. He doesn't able to do it. A lot of this is like scramble, broken plays, making the most of what you have. And here we go back. This is another red zone. This is Wiseau. Now watch this. Watch what Fancy does here. Oh, he's okay. Never mind. Never mind. Let's take a look at the film though. Look at this right here. You see that backup? Like to me, that's your throw, right? I don't know what. I mean, we're waiting for this. Like one of the things that there's this quote I've been thinking a lot about, just in terms of switch stick and what these guys do really well, both, is this idea that anticipation beats reaction every single time. It's a quote by Tom Landry talking about the best way to play is to be anticipating, right? The if this then that rules. And so I just feel like, you got to anticipate those switch sticks over the middle of the field. These guys are and right there, see, this is the stuff that's just crazy. I mean, take a look at that. He switch sticks here, kind of fakes it. Switch sticks again, look, he's here. If he stays on this, right? But Fancy anticipates the switch stick off. John's over here. Look at that. He's over here. This is one of the things to me, again, that's just like, I get what he's trying to do because he's trying to lurk that back underneath, but fundamentally it's hard to, I don't know. It's just take away the big play, force the little play. I mean, trying to force a pick there, in my opinion, and trying to honestly. One of the things Fancy said in one of his interviews was, sometimes people try to do a little too much. But I mean, here he brings this, so another thing these guys do is they drag them into position. So here he drags the yellow inside, which is really good. He switch sticks here because he's reading the play, and he has a guy right here. I mean, see how he's dragging him? I think he thinks if he drags him, he can click off and he'll cover this enough. And yeah, I guess he's over it. I don't know. It's just a super big play by Fancy, and I really feel like sometimes when I watch these guys play, it's like, what I wonder is what's going through Fancy's mind as he sees that picture? Is he guess passing? Is he anticipating that John's going to switch stick and then switch stick off? Not sure, but obviously he's going to that triangular passing concept a lot. Another thing you're seeing from both these guys, specifically Fancy here, gets in the red zone. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to run the ball. The easiest way to score is through ground transportation, right? The easiest way to score inside the 5-yard line is to run the ball, and you're going to see these guys run a variety of different runs, primarily zone runs, such as halfback zone, 26 duo stretch. Those are kind of wide zone. Those are some of the main runs that you're going to see down there. And Fancy is able to get in there. So that's huge for Fancy. 10-0. This is a huge drive for John. John obviously knows that, because if John can go down and score 7 and not give the ball back to Fancy with a lot of time left on the clock, it really sets him up very nicely to be able to get right back into the ball game, because he gets ball out of half. And so, like, super big drive for John. You're going to see some of his biggest, best stuff here. Fancy, obviously, huge drive for him. Again, one of the other things I guess I just realized, notice this. Fancy leaves his safeties down here. John, remember we talked about it? He drags them back to here. Super minor thing, but what this effectively means is pretty much they're going to be in inside quarters. Or the other thing that Fancy does that most people don't do is he'll take like, see, he'll be user in here. He'll put this guy in a middle third. And then what you'll see Fancy do is he'll switch stick onto him, run him back so that he gets back. And then he'll switch stick onto this defender. So it's another super common way that he plays. But anyway, so you see here, look at that. Inside quarter, right? And then what Fancy did is he went cover 2 with the inside quarters. This was the cover that Zombies actually bombed him on the first drive. Able to hit another big play and another big moment there from Fancy. Our first attempt ball on the 47. And he catch that? All right, let me just take a look at the coverage here. So again, this time, what does Fancy do? He goes to that mix-up DB fire. Look, one of the things I just wanted to point out is look at the coverage shell here. You're going to get inside quarter, soft squat. I believe this is a soft squat, and Fancy uses a lot. Most people don't. This is a vert hook here, I believe. Fancy uses match coverage a lot more, so he's not setting zone drops, which is another real big thing that Fancy does that's different from a lot of people. He doesn't set zone drops. That's why his yellow zones, and if you go back and look at some of his film, his yellow zones drift a little bit deeper. So, one of the interesting things is one of the best ways, and this is again going back to the clef game, but take a look at this real quick. Look at this switch stick. Again, Fancy just reads the play. He drags him into position. He's going to click off. Why is he clicking off? Because he knows once John sees this, he's going to jump off and he's going to go back here. So this is actually a really nice, but he switch sticks here, but he's too slow. He can't get back. This is open. And then take a look. He switch sticks back to Brian Thomas. I don't know why, again, I don't know why you end up over here. Is it because maybe he was trying to switch stick to here potentially? But in general, that's a really cloudy read, and somehow John Beast is able to catch the ball, ags him with Randy Moss, and again, taps his chest just like he did when he threw the interception on the wheel route. So, anyway. John Beast's going to go to wide trip. This is one of his favorite red zone formations, and I actually love the combo that he ran right there. Wasn't able to deliver the ball, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So, all things considered, John, get 7 here and you're good. Goes short side wide trips. One of the combos here you're going to see is you've got this little wheel, and then you have this like stem down post. So what happens if this is cover 2 is this guy will suck inside. Doesn't happen here. Fancy stays in his coverage. But what's really honestly kind of interesting, see, throw this. It's actually great pocket by John. Watch this. Scramble up, and then Fancy, again, I just think it's so interesting to me to watch this. The switch stick. So he switch sticks here. I believe Fancy was trying to switch stick here and lurk that, but I think that's kind of the thing with switch stick is sometimes it's very easy. Even the best players in the world are going to mess it up. So I would assume that's what happened there because it doesn't make sense to switch a flat to a flat zone when you have the flat guarding 2 players. So probably was trying to switch stick to the inside defender and just wasn't able to do it. All right, but one of the benefits here is Fancy's going to be able to get the ball with 1:56 and have plenty of time to be able to go down and score. All right. So this is a huge drive for Fancy. The reason being is because Zombies gets ball out of half. So if Fancy doesn't go down and get 7, even it's 2 minutes, then Zombies able to get in control of the game. And this happened all game. This is one of the interesting things. I wish we could watch the game instead of these little replays, but whatever. Anyway, little inside zone there from Saquon, and Fancy pops it. This happened several times throughout this game where Fancy just had some runs, man, like that just popped. And the jet touch pass popped, the inside zone popped, and this was just all. What's really interesting is another real thing is like when John Beast is on offense, you're seeing that he's audibling around a ton. He's going from doubles to wide trips to bunch to right. He's going to multiple formations. Fancy, by and large, I think every single play of this game, except for inside the 10, was in this normal YF close. Really running this triangle play, and then the triangle play, trying to catch you in cover two, and then really those were the main passing plays, and then mixed in a lot of different runs here. Obviously, there's other things he was doing, but in general, normal wild close, probably 95% of the play calls came from this normal wild close formation. And I have a cool story about the normal wild close formation in this game that is kind of interesting. But here we go. We got a flat running back wheel. There's PA snag. Take a look at this route combo here. So we got streak. This is a huge touchdown. So this is a flat. Why use this flat wheel combination? Because you have a tight end streak. Let's say you get a cover two here to the right side. This cloud is going to get pulled out like that. If you get a vert hook, eventually this will clear that. And then this guy has to respect the streak. So that's a big piece of this route combo. On the backside, you're going to get a drag and you're going to get a short post from PA snag. So take a look at what John does. He crossbands the tight end. So this safety on the left side completely leaves. John's user has to hang here because this will be a touchdown. And so, again, this also anticipation. Fancy throws this on the break. And bada bing, John was switch sticking into position, but can't get there in time. Fancy's able to get 7. Huge 7 for Fancy going towards the end of the second quarter. Little story about normal wild close. Normal wild close was being ran, I want to say, in the Madden Classic. It was being ran in the Madden Classic, and I believe, or the very first tournament of the year that was on regs. This offense, normal off close, was being ran, I believe, by Ghost. I think Ghost found normal off close, from what I've heard, and just kind of crazy. Like he was running that at the beginning of the year, primarily for the short post with the seam streaks, right? And this offense has truly stood the test of time as a really, really good formation. That was almost a really good switch check. This is actually this is the most unfortunate thing to me for John right here. So here you go. Look, Fancy, cover 4. More than likely, cloud flats. Could be curl flats, but probably cloud flats on the outside. Anyway, they're super deep set, and John, Fancy's just trying to limit the big play. So as you see here, he switch sticks to this guy, but John has a streak, so he can't can't switch there, but he is able to get on the outscoder, and he's going to bite down. Now, again, there's KOs all over the field, but that being said, this right here, he catches it. This is not a KO. As you see, I don't think he's lighting up whatsoever. This is just a standard tackle by that defender, because I don't believe that defender, I believe that's Herb Adderley. I think he has mid zone and flat zone. He does not have deep out on him. So very unfortunate for John. If he catches that, that puts him very much so in field goal range. So super unfortunate for John in that situation. Here, John's going to go to a bomb concept and really looking for a couple things here. If he busts a coverage, this will be open. So Fancy's going to have to kind of like handle this post. But then the other thing is John's looking for a quick dot here. And if he can get that throw, which would isolate this defender really, if he can get that throw, then he's able to get a bounce potentially. So you see here, but look, really key. Look at that cloud flat, defend that speed out. That is open, but a really hard throw. And right, it's just a hard throw to be able to make. And so John is going to playmaker that drag and get a catch tackle, timeout right there. And again, notice, I mean, just one of the real underrated things about cover 4 that we've seen throughout the entire season is how good of a job it has done at keeping the lid on. If you mess up a switch stick, that's one thing, but the coverage itself doesn't have a lot of huge plays that you're going to be giving up. Here, 4th and 5, super underrated thing that John does. Really good punt here. Because the problem is, with 7 seconds, you can get stopped, and Fancy can get the ball back and kick 3, which would be devastating to John, who's already losing by double digits. And so this punt here, super good, super valuable. He's going to sky kick it, try to just run this clock out, make a tackle, and that is going to do it for the first half. All right, so second half here, and John is going to get ball at a half, and thanks for letting us see the first play. Shout out to the broadcast team. Love it. Love to see it. Love to be able to watch the game. All right, 452, and we have a streak, and we have a double streak. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go flat. It's running that flat streak. See, John is just. You're seeing right here. So take a look at what Fancy does. Fancy most of the game has been running this, honestly. Here in the second half, Fancy's going to start going to this a little more with the disengage, or the engage, I guess is technically. But anyway, the thing I'm trying to show you is John runs a lot of this, a lot of that. And so because he runs a lot of that, Fancy's doing a really good job of just switch sticking it. So take a look here. So boom, he's here. This throw is open, but it's you're getting screamed at. And John's probably honestly throwing it. No, he's throwing the drag. That would not have been open. Yeah, just got bagged there. Just got bagged there. Nothing really to it. But again, just notice how Fancy's able to just kind of just cover the field. The main thing that's open is these outside sidelines, which John really hasn't hit. Here's again another mixing of DB Fire. Dude, Fancy mixes in DB Fire. That's like that's his second down or third down call a lot. All right, 4th-5, biggest down of the game so far, 17-7. If Fancy gets a stop right here, literally the game could pretty much be over. It takes away John's one advantage that he had of getting the ball to halftime. John is going to go to bunch X nasty, or I'm sorry, bunch spread nasty out of the Niners playbook, and he's going to go to smash return. Now notice the route combo that John's going to go to. He's going to go to that short side wheel again. He's going to go running back streak, and then I believe drag, streak, and a little return route there over the middle. Setting up some pass pro. Okay, he's going to go to a corner route. I don't love that, but it is what it is. Guess anticipating there's that cover two. Watch this slot. See here, look at that. That time he runs correctly, and John just makes a really good read under pressure. Like that is such a good read because it's kind of covered, honestly. Like what Fancy does is he goes protect the sticks. It appears I don't know what he exactly did. Maybe he put his hooks on 5 for this down. Could be that. But take a look at the coverage here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got a vert hook, and he's flowing out to here. That's probably on 5. You have Fancy's user here, and then you have about a 10-yard drop from these guys. And then what I don't know here is what this is. It appears like he rolls the coverage this way. But anyways, so John calls the wheel route. So at this point, you really can't throw this. This is going to be open, but if you're John Beast, you're probably anticipating Fancy switch sticking here and taking this away. And this is just such a good throw under pressure. Take a look. Fancy does switch stick here. And at this point, John's throwing this. Like that is just such a tight window that he's able to hit. And this is one of the things that I will say, it's one of the things I like about switch stick is when you watch the highest level play, the throwing windows are so much tighter than they were pre-switch stick. Right? Like people are having to throw things, get caught, get tackled because the switch stick is a step too slow. Whereas before, players were just wide open. So, I mean, that's a nice play by John right there. Able to kind of hit a critical window in a critical moment of the game. If John doesn't convert that, it's massive for this game. But I mean, literally, what I think is crazy is if you literally charted the coverage that Fancy's running, it's majority cover 4 quarters. Right here, this is honestly, and this is what I was talking about, this is just a mistake by Fancy. Take a look here. I think he gets switched off because he gets clicked here, and he immediately runs down a step because I think he's trying to be here and run the engage. His whole defense, I guess he gets crossfired. And another thing is Fancy's actually in this play mixing in an actual match coverage. But this guy just gets abused by that. And I really just believe at the end of the day, and this is what I was talking about, sometimes you bust a coverage on accident because of how user dependent everything is defensively this year. You you're trying to get your setup in and you get clipped on a safety and you run down a step and it's a touchdown, right? I think right there, just that's kind of the interesting thing about the game is at the highest level. This is what's really interesting is at the highest level, I feel like it's all about limiting mistakes. Like to get to the highest level, you have to be good. You have to be really good. You have to know everything you need to know. It's why the school membership is important because it gives you the knowledge needed, the tools needed to get to become the best player in the world. That being said, when you get to the highest level, a lot of times it's about just the mistakes, right? It's getting caught on the user wrong. It's not getting your setup in. It's making a bad read. We've seen, and this what I also think is wild. And there you see, there's another big run from Fancy. Breaks a huge run out of there. Saquon to the house, and he literally just housed. I think that's a 79-yard touchdown run. And that what's wild to me about this is this a 1st and 10. Fancy's literally just calling this to get the drive started, get to a hash mark, get the clock going, and he ends up getting a touchdown of that. And so again, a couple big mistakes from John Beast. Number one, his run defense not getting the job done. Number two, he had that pick, he had that interception, could have had 2 interceptions. Fancy, on the other hand, major mistake, giving up that touchdown with that mess up on the user, and then could have thrown that interception inside on that, I believe, that first possession that he had. So again, the story of the game really is John Beast has made one more mistake than Fancy's made so far this game. That is really, I think, Madden at its highest level. And here, take a look, and Fancy busts a coverage again. So Fancy will make some of the best switch sticks you'll ever see. Watch what he does here. He reads the play, but what Fancy makes a mistake of, in my opinion, is, and it's super hard because John's playmakering a lot underneath here. So you see John playmaker, Fancy switch sticks here because he's going to cut, but Fancy knows that this is the throw. So watch what he does. Instantly, he switch sticks here, and he's going to try to lurk and kind of top the route. And John is literally just sitting on this switch stick. As soon as he saw him do that, John lobs this up, and Christian Watson takes the top off the defense. Kind of, again, another this is what I don't like. This is my from my perspective, again, just watching this, just if you just switch here, which again, it's easy to say that when you're watching the play back, but, or even if you switch, but yeah, I mean, I get it. This playmaker kind of messed things up because you have to leave this guy here because this guy could go across. So, I mean, it's a tight thing. I think what Fancy did is actually really good, though, because I think what Fancy's seriously trying to do is actually trying to bait this throw because he's going to immediately switch here and try to top it. And it just comes down to John Beast kind of got, this is what, again, super cool to me about the highest level of the game. It comes down to a half a second. It comes down to a half a second there where Fancy switch sticked late, just about a half a second. John threw it on time, and he caught him. Touchdown, John. That is Madden at the highest level, where ultimately it's a game of execution, and John out-executed Fancy on that situation. If John throws that, literally half a second later, more than likely Fancy probably picks that, and the game's over. Instead, watch his immediate, he's here, and then watch, go bang. If that's, he's just a slightly late, and it changed everything. So again, little details make a big difference at the highest level. Again, notice that Fancy is running a lot of this jet touch pass. Pretty much every drive he started with a run, and he's gotten a lot of big plays out of the run game in this game. Now, right there, 2nd and 9, but he's not going to go away from the run game. He's still going to use it throughout this game. And then guess what we're doing again? The triangle passing concept. He has called this so many dang times this game. Boom. And then, just makes that read super fast. That's a great play by, I think, Kyle Pitts there. Able to kind of lurk over there, get that mid zone. And, Fancy is calling that play. That's basically, that is Fancy's version of bench pivot that Clef did to Fancy when Clef was able to kind of blow Fancy out in the Zero Chill tournament. It was really the only game this year that I saw, at least on the MCS stage, where Fancy didn't really, he just got beat, right? Anyway, 4th and 9. This is the biggest down of the game up to this point. Take a look at what John's going to be doing defensively. And again, the positioning of this user pretty much tells you the defense. Like, you know, it's going to be crossfire or DB fire. And here we're going to get a nice 5-out combo. And we get the crossfire pressure from John. And this is pretty standard 4th down defense, 4th and 9. You're going to put this cloud flat out here because you don't want the speed outs on either side. So you see, you pretty much get cloud flats. You get yellows right here. And then what John does, which, is that a safety? Who is that drops into the outside? Take a look at this with me real quick. Take a look at this for this corner. That is, I don't know what that's got to be a vert hook. That's got to just be a basic vert hook. I don't know what that was. But anyway, the problem is Fancy's pass pro just fails him, honestly. This is going to be a touchdown if he has a second, if he has just a little longer. Instead, he has to throw on time to this, and these are 2 KOs that you're never going to complete this pass. I mean, very rarely will you complete that pass. If he falls down there, he might catch it. John gets the KO and gets the full-fledged stop. Honestly, it's not a bad route combination, and this is, again, the little things make a big difference. John was showing the crossfire pressure. It doesn't appear to me that Fancy set up the crossfire pass protection. At least he didn't run play action. It's obvious that John's running that crossfire. Maybe potentially could have ran DB fire too, but more than likely was running crossfire. Ends up going to crossfire. That little mistake in pass protection. Now John can go down, get 7, and get full. I mean, it gets into control of the game. Notice John goes play action and able to hit that post in a real tight window, and he catches it on 2 KOs. You see Fancy's facial expression, right? Look at this real quick. So you get, I don't know what this is. I think it's just the engage with the blitz here. But anyway, in general, right, you got cover 4. He's lurking here. The problem is I think his flat defender might have blitzed on accident, or he blitzed him on purpose, whatever. But it just doesn't. I mean, I guess he blitzed him on purpose here. Anyways, the point is, Fancy's completely out. Like, he's here, and he just kind of gets broken down with that. And again, this is because it's all happening within a couple seconds. John pops a post, and Fancy frustrated that he caught on the KOs. Again, the thing that I really take away from how switch stick has really changed Madden, it really has limited, at least in this year's game, it's really limited big plays. It's changed the offensive meta significantly, and it has really tightened the throwing windows in which you have the ability to throw. So their 2nd and goal for John. We're gonna, again, notice, what are we doing down here in the red zone? Running the ball, ground transportation, easiest way to score. Stretch alert, looky, boom, touchdown, John. Somehow John fights and claws his way back in front of this game. And if John gets a stop, he's got a really good chance at winning. He's going to have to hold Fancy to 3. He's going to have to get a stop. He's going to have to do something. Fancy really kind of slid back. I mean, that's a huge slide to go from up 2 possessions to up 1 possession to up no possessions, right? But Fancy breaks a kick return, right? He broke 2 inside zones. He broke a kick return. Got a fortunate KO, right? So huge, really things just kind of falling for him. All right, we got double streaks. All right, we got streak, post, and see that time Fancy able to catch it. Now, why is he able to catch it? I'm not really sure, other than he just cuts it off a little better. I don't know. I think it actually might be a hash mark thing, because I believe in the other one he was on the short hash. But anyhow, not sure why he was able to catch that one, but he wasn't able to catch the one before on the 4th down play. But notice the combo here. Watch, there's that short side. And oh, by the way, take a look at this with me real quick. So this is a short side wheel. Watch what happens. See how he sputters? He's slowing down. He kept running, but he was slowing down, doing the slow down thing a little bit. Anyway, it's a short side wheel combo that really does that. And yeah, good defense from John. Fancy should be throwing that away. Yeah. And so much is happening in this game. So many kind of ways in which the game has shifted throughout the year being on display here. But ultimately it really does come down to your ability to anticipate, your ability to switch stick the routes that Fancy puts on the field. That's what it comes down to. And guess what he's going to? 3rd and 1. And if you're John, I mean, this seems to me to be the play that Fancy is going to, you have to stop this play. He's going to go to the cheat motion version of this. He's going to look to that first, good switch, and he hits that short post right in a tight spot. So again, one of the other things is Fancy is anticipating the switch stick. So he's here. His eyes are immediately here. He sees John switch to this. It's really hard for John because these safeties are in the box. How do you if he switches back here? He a lot of times you're out of position. So watch, John switches here, and I think the reason why is because he's in cover 2. So technically that's a touchdown. But what Fancy sees is his user is over here. So let me work this route, which I know has to be usered. Kind of super high level read by Fancy. Anticipating the switch, having that if this, then that. If John switches this, then I have that open over the middle of the field. Going to go to the jet touch pass here, closing the 3rd quarter, trying to close it with 7, and he is not going to be able to. That's going to take it to the 4th. Actually, nice. Did he call timeout? No, it's just going to take us to the 4th. All right, switch 4 is up. Here we go. This game actually moved really quickly. And this is a huge red zone possession for Fancy. If John's able to stop him here, this is massive. Even if he's able to hold him to 3, which more than likely Fancy's going to go for it if we get in a 4th down situation. There he goes to the wide zone out of pistol wing flex close. Here he's going to go to a pass, 3rd and goal. Now the reason I believe he's going to go to this pass is because he knows he's going to go for it on 4th down and tries to. And again, that's just a snap read. If you got space, you truck it. Not able to get his feet in bounds. That brings up a 4th down. Decision time. Fancy's going to go for this. Now, because he passed it on 3rd down, he got a little bit of a peek of what John's going to do from a coverage perspective. I believe John might have ran commit there. I don't know. No, I don't think he ran commit, but he just didn't have anybody in the inside quarter and almost got popped there. And that brings up a huge 4th and goal. All right, 4th and goal from the 1. We've got 6-1 defense from John. He's going to use it as a safety. He's not able to shoot it. And there it is. Perry gets the touchdown. And now 31-28. John Beast has a money drive. If John is able to take this clock, go down and get 7, he will win the Madden Bowl. Notice the kickoff to the right. Pretty common. Fancy did break a kick on the kickoff to the right. Another thing that a lot of these guys probably have is some type of like tackling abilities or some kind of like, lineup where they're able to get good hit power guys. There is Fancy's roommate, Young Kiv. And Fancy going back to the engage D here. And Fancy playing a little more basic. He didn't switch stick that. I think he was playing a little bit more like midpointing it, trying to get John to make a mistake. Because John has popped him on a couple. I think he's had 2 streaks that he's hit over the top. And there Fancy gets it. And Fancy almost lurks the running back streak right there. This is insane. Watch him just boom and then just bam. Fancy, gosh dang. When he switch, the thing that's, again, I was talking about the half-second thing. When Fancy kind of is anticipating your route and he switches to it right, he'll switch it and he'll lurk it so fast. It's almost like Ed Reed playing safety. Anyway, here's John's kind of main play. He catches him here. He catches him in cover 2. Look, great throw. John knows it's open. He's throwing this. This is a touchdown. This is literally like massive 2-possession lead with 4 minutes. Touchdown. Fancy gets a B gap. Again, milliseconds, half seconds. Just a little bit more time. That's a touchdown for John. So that's why, a blitz threat is always critical within your plays. Fancy called a lot of DB fire too. There's the engage D again. And that time, that's a pick. And this is how it goes, man. Watch this. Okay, so this is cover 4. So look, he's in the engage defense. Boom. I don't know what exactly that is right there. I just don't know what zone that is because he's not manned up. Anyways, the big deal here is watch I just don't know what that is. But watch this corner on the outside. Watch his back pedal right here. At this point, this is a soft squat. Okay. So I want to say that's a vert hook, but I just don't know. Anyways, this is an inside quarter. This is an inside quarter, I believe. I believe that's a middle third. I believe this is soft squat. So anyway, he's doing like a cover two deal. So Fancy reads the play. Fancy reads the play, and he's gonna switch stick here and try to go get it. So he switch sticks just enough to back this guy up so that the match principle activates. Could be cover four, might be cover four, and maybe I don't know. Anyways, bottom line is John throws right at it, and it's an interception. And again, we talk about a game of mistakes. This is the big one. Yeah, it looks like he's. Gosh, it just looks. Yeah, I don't know. It could be an outside quarter. Maybe that was just. Oh, you know what? I bet you that's actually just basic cover four quarters. Because the way he rerouted him, this might just be basic cover four quarters. Anyway, that outside quarter. What Fancy did, and this is really underrated. Watch when he switch sticks here. He's gonna watch the switch stick here. See how he moves him outside? Him moving him outside will take away the speed out. But because it's a match, he recovers and he's able to catch it. John Beast thinks that that's a John Beast. I just truly believe John thought he called cover two again, or John Beast thought it was the same situation previously where Fancy bit down on that safety just a little bit and it caused a touchdown. John lobs it up right to him, and Fancy catches him and gets the one stop he needed to be able to hopefully end up putting the game out of reach. I believe he, you know what? I bet you ran like cover two on the tight end side and cover four on that left side. Now that I look at it a second time. But just a great change up from Fancy with the way he was playing defense. Goes back to that inside zone. That's 6 yards. Saquon Barkley has 3 carries for 117 yards in the ball game. And that is a big deal. So if you're Fancy here, kind of a tough situation, because if you get stopped, then then John is really in position to be able to go down, tie it, or take the lead. So if you're Fancy, you still have to kind of get some first downs here. You have to pass the ball a little bit. He's going to go to YSL. I don't think we've seen him call this specific version of it. There's that corner route, good read, hits it right in that spot again. Notice how tight of the window that he's able to throw into. He's going to go back on conservative. Really, if you're Fancy here, a field goal is helpful, but it doesn't ultimately win you the game. What wins you the game is being able to move the ball. He has to go at least one, maybe two. I think he has to get 2 more first downs for this to be GG's. And John's obviously trying to lurk the run. That's why he's staying. What's really an underrated thing, too, is you pretty much know that John is going to be in crossfire, because crossfire is a lot better run defense than the engage defense, especially if you can run off both sides. So, kind of interesting as well. Takes a little flat underneath. And 3rd and 5. So this is going to be John's biggest defensive call of his Madden career. This is the biggest moment in this game up to this point. And notice what Fancy's doing. He comes out in the fake jet wheel play. So he's setting this up all game, saves it for the right moment, goes to it. John's user is completely out of position. He didn't run commit in the game against Wesley. Wesley flat out ran commit. Anyway, the bottom line is he goes to this, and take a look here. The user has to come out here to shoot the jet touch pass. So John's user gets out of position, and now you've got this post, and you've got this backside Texas, and the yellow zones are nowhere to be found. Look how deep the yellow zones are. Look how deep they are. Right? 3rd and 5. These yellow zones, I believe they are at least 10 yards. And there it is. That's a huge first down. Catches him in the biggest moment of the ball game. Guesses right. John guesses wrong. These just little bitty plays that made just a big difference in this game. This was a really, really good game, and probably truly the game of the year. I mean, truly was the best matchup. Been kind of going towards it all year. Fancy just needs one first down to close this one out. You're going to see some fake hot routes, but he's ultimately going to be an inside zone. That's the first time we've seen John able to truly stop the inside zone. And now we're going to go back to 2nd and 10. And Fancy's going to pass. So Fancy's going to try passing here on the 2nd down. He will take a sack. And going to take it and get up to a 3rd and 6. Good timeout by John. So this is, and now you truly see, I mean, this, if John does not get off the field here, this is going to be it. See what Fancy ends up going to. Probably going to go to that cheat wheel play. He is for his bread. Now he's going to go to the cheat wheel of the pass he needed to hit. And guess what he hits? The post. Perfect read. He called that play all game. It was that play. John could not ultimately stop the triangle read over the middle of the field. And Fancy completes what I believe to be the best Madden season I've ever seen. I mean, he won 2 finals. I don't think Henry had that. Did he have that? He won. I can't remember. I thought that was the year that he lost. I don't know. But this was insane because not only was it was the Ultimate Kickoff Classic, or not the Classic, the Ultimate Kickoff Tournament in September. He won back-to-back. So he won Ultimate Kickoff in September. He won Madden, or Most Feared. Then he, I don't think he made Unstoppable. Not sure why. And then he lost Zero Chill to Clef. And then he rolled through Madden Bowl. So, anyways, shout out to Fancy. I think this might have truly been the best season we've seen. A lot can be learned from Fancy going forward in terms of how this changes the meta, how it changes everything. So much to be learned about this. If you're looking to take your Madden game to the next level, make sure you join our school community. That's going to be linked in the description. $10 gets you access to everything that I know about Madden, college football, all that stuff is in there. Thanks for watching the video. And yeah, shout out to Fancy. Super good season and a lot can be learned from how he plays the game.